What's up, guys? It's me, Lumos Theramax, here to slam you guys with another absolute banger. And the thing I'm really going ham on this time around is I see a lot of people thinking that like high-end lantern content doesn't scale very high. And so I wanted to give an exact example of like how crazy some of this stuff could get, especially when you start involving like emotional entities and stuff. So sit back, put your feet up, enjoy yourself, like and subscribe to both me and the coffee shop content creators, and let's get to it. So essentially where we're going to pick up is Blackest Night, and you see all of the most powerful magic users, or at least the most consistent ones at the time, all hanging out with Phantom Stranger. Of course you got Zatanna, Blue Devil, and the Spectre all kind of like chilling. And they notice some crazy shit's going on, dude. They notice the magical world's insane. Boston Brand's body is no longer where it should be, and so they're all freaking the hell out. But in the middle of this, Ragman actually shows up. And he's like, yo, I ain't done with you guys yet. And everyone's kind of freaking out as to what's going on with him. And in the middle of his conversation, Ragman actually explodes into a bunch of Black Lantern rings. And everyone's just kind of standing around as Black Hand walks up on them. And he's basically saying, yo, Zatanna, Blue Devil, you're definitely oriented with life. The Spectre, most definitely death that surrounds him. And the Phantom Stranger, you're whatever. But I only really need one of you guys because your magic is ineffectual against my Lord's power. And essentially, anyone who's beyond the concept of death, like Spectre, they gotta go, man. And Spectre's like, yo, fuck this shit, I'm the Spectre. I'm the spirit of vengeance. I'm the Spectre, bro. This ain't gonna hold me. And Blue Devil looks back at Phantom Stranger's like, bro, we need to hold hands and cast that magical spell. Phantom Stranger's like, bro, we can't anymore. And the Spectre is entirely consumed by one singular Black Lantern ring. Of course, later on down the road in the story arc, he specifically says, as you see in that panel there, that he wants after Hal Jordan. So of course he rolls after Hal Jordan because the Spectre and Hal Jordan have a very long history of being tied to one another. And Hal, even in his base form, is actually throwing up a pretty goddamn good fight against Black Lantern amped Spectre. Blows up his fucking hand, but unfortunately, like, this is definitely a top tier opponent at this point in time. And the Spectre, the Black Lantern Spectre, really grabs him and starts infecting him with Black Lantern energies, or like the power of the Black itself. And he actually starts to convert Hal Jordan. And keep in mind, Hal Jordan's resistances are absolutely wild in terms of what they can stop. But Black Lantern, the power of the Black is like top tier within even the Black Lantern Corps, or within the entire Lantern Corps. It takes the combined efforts of both Ganthet and Seid in order to just sever the connection that the Spectre had on Hal Jordan. And that's literally what he says, bro, I ain't having that shit. And he literally goes and it smashes his fucking teeth down on both of the Guardians, man. And so Hal, once again, popping off really hard, creates a construct hammer and just literally knocks off the Spectre's jaw entirely, flies into his mouth and saves both Guardians. And Sinestro's also wilding out over here too, ragdolling him with a massive stake construct. And of course we have Yellow Lantern Scarecrow at this point in time because things were really desperate, also trying to do things, but Spectre wasn't having that shit. He literally just cursed him to be a literal scarecrow in the middle of the battle, because lol, that's what Spectre does. But Hal Jordan throws another stake straight through his chest and says, yo, this shit is done. And no, Black Lantern Spectre isn't having it. He literally pulls the stake out and says, you ain't killing me, bro, I ain't a fucking loser. And everyone's confused as to why that didn't work, because it's worked on everyone else so far. But the problem is, he's literally too damn powerful, essentially for the entire crew here, because we have like Carol Ferris, Wonder Woman with a Star Sapphire ring, Hal Jordan, Ganthet, Seid, Scarecrow, Sinestro, Atrocitus, and Mera with the with the Red Lantern ring. So they're all pretty goddamn scary. And this Black Lantern Spectre still isn't having it. And so Hal starts to think, man, what could we possibly do that would outscale somebody like this? And he remembers, back when I was possessed by Parallax, the Spectre was actually the one, like, a Spectre worked with me in order to split me and Parallax. And even back then, when he managed to do that, the Spectre himself fled in fear. He fled in terror. And so he thinks, dude, he was scared of Parallax. That could be our advantage. And so they summon all the power batteries they actually sealed him into, and a fight breaks out between both Sinestro and Hal Jordan as to who exactly is going to ascertain the power of Parallax. And during this massive-ass battle, Hal just so happens to get the better, and he begins to be possessed by the powers of Parallax. And back in his OG Parallax Hal Jordan form, he goes to whipping ass. First things first, he says, Jordan's not here anymore. It's just Parallax and Spectre Werewolf. And just look at this fucking art, dude. How this guy looks the most intimidating fucking character in DC. Look at this shit. And so a massive battle immediately breaks out between Black Lantern Spectre and Parallax Hal Jordan. And something to consider is earlier, Ganthet and Said literally say this guy's power might dwarf our own. Like everyone there. And Atrocitus just flat out had told them, yeah, no, he literally does outscale every one of us here. But Parallax Hal Jordan immediately goes to whipping his ass, man. While all the other lanterns kind of start fighting a lot of the more, like the Black Lanterns that are just around at this point in time. Oh, and Blue Lantern Flash is here too, I forgot about that. But Parallax Hal Jordan is just absolutely mauling Black Lantern Spectre. And it's even stated here by Ganthet, who is a pretty good source of information and power. He literally says to everyone present, this includes Sinestro, this includes Atrocitus, this includes everyone. Wonder Woman, everyone, man. And he says if we get between those two now, we would be incinerated as an afterthought. Holy shit. Okay, and Parallax Hal Jordan literally rolls up and says, bro, you remember me? You tried to fucking burn me out like a disease one time? I'm gonna fucking destroy you, man. Oh, how I've missed the body of Hal Jordan, man. I'm so fucking powerful in this body. And Black Lantern Spectre's trying to fight back. He's like, do as you do, Terrormonger. I'm gonna kick your ass. And he says, bro, you're more likely to eradicate the color yellow than you are to eradicate me as a thing, Black Lantern. And says, fear is always around, and I'ma prove it. As Spectre's fighting back, he's like, bro, he unleashes an entire volley of Black Lantern rings from his chest, attempting to infect anyone and everyone nearby. And he says, I'm rage, I am vengeance, I'll kill anyone. And Parallax Hal Jordan looks back and he says, nah, bro, you're fucking trash, dude. You're a facade, hiding the true Spectre. Says, you may fool other living things into believing that facade, Black Lantern, but I know that you conceal, I know what you conceal behind your lifeless programming. Because those rings literally just like make a perfect duplicate of. He says, but behind this undead construct lies the actual enemy that I want to deal with. And he says, do you not still wish to judge me? And sure enough, the Spectre reaches out from him from inside of the Black Lantern body that he's in with him right now and says, you will be judged. And this Spectre, and Parallax Hal Jordan starts shit talking, bro. He starts bringing out all the shit talk. He said, look at you, God's bloody weapon of vengeance, mutilated and stuck inside a failing carcass of a body. And he says, we both know what it's like to find the perfect body. I mean, I found Hal Jordan and you found Crispus Allen. But the problem is Crispus Allen was consumed by a Black Lantern ring. The actual ring that functions as him. Just as you are the actual Spectre underneath his corpse, his Black Lantern ring is the true source of what binds you here. And he says, I'm gonna destroy that shit and release you. So he blows up that ring, and when he blows up that ring, the false construct that exists around that Spectre is literally destroyed. But the problem wasn't solved there, because Parallax ain't going quietly. And that's what everyone notices is he doesn't stop at just splitting the Black Lantern from the Spectre. He immediately goes to beating the shit out of the Spectre. He literally is just ragdolling him, bro. And he's like, I'm gonna kill the Spectre, man. He's one of my oldest ops. How could I not? And the Spectre looks bad at him, dude. He says, save the anti-monitor. You have more blood on your hands than any other being I have ever faced. Today, you're gonna die, Parallax. Even if Hal Jordan has to die. Parallax Hal Jordan says, don't try to act tough with me, motherfucker. I see you. And rips off his fucking face, dude. And you could literally see his body behind his eyes at this point in time. And Sinestro rolls up on him and says, bro, we gotta get him the fuck under control. We need him as a weapon right now. And he's like, bro, this isn't you talking, this is Parallax. You need to get your shit together. And Atrocitus jumps up on the Spectre and tries to convert him, or tries to use him like he would the Rage entity, because he believes at this moment in time that the Spectre actually is the entity of Rage. And Spectre turns and kind of recognizes after whiling out a little while and says, bro, I'm God's Rage, I'm not humanity's Rage, it's completely different. And he says, I know of you, Atrocitus. I faced that being of rage, but whatever, dude. He says, Parallax, I do fear your kind. I fear the primitive power of emotions. But that fear will connect me to you while Hal Jordan is anchored to her. And he reaches out to Carol Ferris, says, grab him now. And in that moment where Carol grabs him and he has kind of like that attachment to love, the Spectre manages to split Parallax back from Hal Jordan. And immediately Sinestro goes after that shit. But Parallax is BFR to some unknown dimension due to reasons. And that's essentially where the end of this wylin Parallax memes go. So like even amped versions of the Spectre, obviously this is bound Spectre, so he's not as powerful as he was like in the Unbound series where he's like flying outside of all of creation and like wilding out and memeing. But nonetheless, the Spectre is consistently, I would consider like a mid to low tier in the God sphere. Bro, he literally just got annihilated by Hal Jordan, and even to his own words, he is terrified of primordial emotions, like for example Parallax or any of the other entities. And so Parallax Hal Jordan, let alone Parallax itself, is fucked. You want to be scared of that shit because he wrecks entire verses whenever he does wild. Notice that he said that he had more blood on his hands than the fucking anti-monitor, or the only person who had more blood on his hands was the anti-monitor, and the only reason is because Hal Jordan didn't actually blow up all of existence like the anti-monitor did. So I mean, it's tough competition being up there with the anti-monitor, but if you're being compared to the anti-monitor, that's pretty fucking brutal. So tell me what you guys think down low. I'm super curious to hear what you guys have to say. And if this bad boy hits 50 likes, I'll cover another wacky ass Parallax Hal Jordan moment, or even another emotional entity moment. Tell me what you guys want down low. And until next time, guys, it's been a blast, and I'll see you later, Lanterns.